Hello there, fellow thinkers. You ever feel like your brain is playing a game of tug-of-war with you, even with your sanity? Well, you're not alone. Intrusive thoughts can be like those unwanted guests crashing the party in your mind, causing all sorts of chaos and stress. But fear not, because we're gonna dive deep into the world of intrusive thoughts today, and I'm gonna give you some helpful ways to turn these intrusive thoughts into inner peace. Sounds weird, right? Did you know that a whopping 94% of adults have wrestled with intrusive thoughts in the last 3 months? Crazy, right? So if you're feeling like your brain has been hijacked by a runaway train, you're in good company. You're in the right place. But here's the deal. Understanding what these pesky thoughts are is just the first step to taking back control. I'm gonna teach you how to kick this to the curb. So picture this. You're minding your own business and suddenly, bam! Your brain decides to hit you with a mental curveball. A thought that's not just unwanted, but downright disturbing. We're talking about those pesky intrusive thoughts. They come in all shapes and sizes. Imagining yourself doing something extreme like bungee jumping off a bridge to something that's not as safe, jumping off a bridge without the bungee. Or maybe it's fixating on something so innocent as germs. Oh, let's not forget about those violent scenarios that come into people's brains. They just make us question our own sanity. Why are they here? Why does it keep happening? It must mean something. But here's the kicker. When these unwelcome thoughts come and they crash that party, they often bring along some uninvited guests. We call them guilt and shame, but here's the truth bomb. You're not a bad person for having them. Not one bit. For some folks, dealing with these intrusive thoughts can turn into a full-blown battle with OCD. It's like your brain's way of trying to play a never-ending game of whack-a-mole, and the only way to cope is to dive headfirst into its repetitive behaviors. So let's call it like it is. Intrusive thoughts are like those annoying friends that won't take a hint to leave. Maybe you don't have any of those. But I like to think of intrusive thoughts as problem solving. Something that doesn't really have an answer. Maybe it never will. So how do we deal with these? That's what you're probably here for. Let's break it down. First off, when you notice one of these unwelcome visitors in your mind, don't panic. Seriously, it's crucial to acknowledge the thought without beating yourself up, without putting judgment to it, without trying to make sure you know what it means. Remember, just because you think it doesn't define who you are as a person. Next, let that thought drift. If it wants to stay, it can stay. Yeah, I know it's easier said than done, but trust me, dwelling on it or trying to suppress it only gives it more power. We let it drift by not doing anything about it. Not making sense of it, not doing a compulsion or something to make it go away, and not even beating yourself up for having the thought. We actually welcome thoughts. We're not allowing one thought to have more power than another. So I could have two thoughts. One of them could be, hey, I'm gonna eat a salad for lunch today. The other thought could be, hey, you should probably push that person down the stairs when you walk by them. Does this one seem way more important than this one? Should I figure this one out because it seems more dangerous? Guess what? It's the same as me eating a salad for lunch. I get to choose the value I give either one of these thoughts. When we don't want to think of something, that tends to be the time our brain wants to think about it the most. Some choose to give it an answer like, cool thought, bro. Thanks for that. Some say, hey, maybe that could happen. Maybe I'll push him down the stairs. I don't know. Even if that were to happen, I guess I'll take him to the hospital. Like, sounds weird, but I'm only gonna react to the problem when there's a problem. Some find it more helpful to do literally nothing. No acknowledgement of the thought, no answering, nothing. This works as well if you have that ability, as long as it's not a way to suppress the thought. It's like leaving the gate open. The animals can come and go as they please. You're not gonna control it. Hey, thought, or you don't recognize it at all, it's just cool. You're continuing to move on with your life. I know I make it sound easy, but the biggest thing is telling yourself, what can I do right now that is not problem solving this thing? I can't ask questions, can't research online, I can't push the thought away, I can't try to make sense of it. Maybe I'm gonna smile instead. Oh, you can push that person down the stairs. Awesome, yeah, that would be cool. Maybe I smile when I have this and it takes all the value away. And remember those feelings, shame and guilt, that might come in. I can't believe you didn't push that thought away. You're not that kind of person. Ooh, all the scaries. Like, yeah, I love that feeling. Thanks for that guilt today, bro. So cool. Love it. Awesome. Hope you come back. You act like you don't care. And that thought doesn't want to keep coming back because you just told it something it probably doesn't want to hear. Now here's what not to do with these thoughts. Don't fall for the trap of overanalyzing them, obviously. We don't want to use any unhealthy coping mechanisms to deal with them. Something like substance abuse. Nope, that's not the answer. If you find yourself constantly battling with these intrusive thoughts, it might be time to take a step back and just evaluate your surroundings. Are there certain triggers that that tend to be worse for you? Are you doing more things right now that you don't need to that are stressing you out? Sometimes we need to prioritize some self-care. Outside of OCD and anxiety, there are external factors that come into play. If I'm not sleeping, I'm probably going to be more prone to having thoughts. If I'm not eating, socializing, working, living life, going towards my values, it's going to be hard. So it can be helpful to focus on these things as well. Self-care is important. So if you just watch this and you're like, well, I still don't know what to do. What about these thoughts? What? The goal is treating intrusive thoughts like they have no value. That's how we get them to go away, but it's okay if they don't go away. That's the mindset. If your mindset is, I didn't give this value and it's still here, you're gonna be disappointed. It's to change your relationship with it. Smile, act like you don't care. Don't give it any power. They mean nothing to you unless you put meaning to them. Some choose to write them all out. Oh yeah, push my brother down the stairs. Love it. And they smile and they laugh. Next thought that comes your way, well, you're a bad person if you're thinking that. Cool, thanks for the thought, bro. You're writing all those things out. You're welcome to keep coming back. I love this. They celebrate each time the thought comes up. Yes, thank you for being here. While this is a general overview of treatment, I go into more depth in my online course. It teaches you step by step what to do. If you're not sure if you have OCD, I've got some tests for you as well. I'm gonna link that all in the description. So be kind to yourself, stay mindful, keep pushing forward. You got this. These thoughts have nothing on you. The next scary thought you have, maybe you smile, embrace it, make no sense of it. You're saying, oh, thank you for being here. I love it. And if you don't think you can do it, I bet you can. You can. Trust it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. But here's the deal. Understanding what these pesky thoughts are is just the first step to taking back control.